welcome back to Nice News, a show celebrating all things happy and positive. My name is Steve Surridge, aka Mr. Happiness 2000, a professional happiness coach, and I promise you today, this show is going to be absolutely amazing, potentially life-changing.
And I'm Casey, your co-host. Stephen's right. We have got an absolutely fantabulous show for you. We're going to be talking all things gratitude, why we should be grateful, why it's not only good for us spiritually and mentally, but also physically.
Yes, so the purpose of this show every week is to bring you 30 minutes of positivity, and as always, to interact and have fun with you guys on the show as well. But before we continue, I think it's time for us to hear the first of our nice news.
You know, I like to start with a quote, and today's quote comes from W.C. Fields, who says, "The easiest, simplest way to make sure that your day is filled with magic is to fill your morning with gratitude." So what is gratitude? It's kind of like one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around nowadays, like empowerment. But gratitude is simply a heartfelt, spontaneous emotion from your heart where you appreciate everything you have that is not money and not material possessions. So you're grateful for your family and friends, but you don't include in that your nice BMW outside just yet. Oprah Winfrey says, if you want to change your state of being, then be grateful. Now, I know that this year hasn't really made us feel that we have a lot to be grateful for, but whether it's a week, a month, a day, or a year, whatever period of time it is, we, all of us, every single one of us, has something for which we can be grateful. Because when we practice gratitude, we keep our energy frequency up, and we literally attract better things to ourselves. But we live in a society where we kind of focus a lot on what we don't have or what other people have. And the universe is really strange. It doesn't think yay or nay. If you focus on what you don't have, it will continue not to give you anything. In fact, it may very well take stuff away. When we focus on lack, that is what we're putting into the universe, not love and peace and all the good stuff. But we're focusing on lack, we're putting that in the universe, and that is what the universe is giving us back. One of the reasons for this, and we've covered this on previous episodes of the show, and I don't want to sound as if I'm social media bashing, but we all know that social media has a lot of people sort of linking into a lifestyle dream that doesn't really exist. It plays on people's mindsets, it plays on their self-confidence, because it says this is the lifestyle we're supposed to be living, you know. And if some people aren't living this life, and let's face it, most of us aren't, but if some people aren't living this lifestyle, they feel inadequate, unfulfilled, and depressed. And you can't feel all of those things and feel gratitude. And it's not just me who thinks that social media has a part to play in this. Actor Bill Murray says social media is training us to compare our lives instead of appreciating everything we have. It's no wonder everybody's depressed. I call gratitude part of the 3 G's. Along with gratitude, there's grace and there's generosity. Because I believe if you're grateful for what you have, then you have the grace to be generous. That's just my little thinking. Now, gratitude is so easy. You can make it as complex or as easy as you want to. When people say, but, you know, how do you practice gratitude? Well, there's a phrase that we're taught as kids, that every little kid is taught. When somebody gives you something, what do? You say thank you. And if you forget to say thank you, then the grown-up with you, your mum or your dad, will say, now say thank you. And that's how you start. When you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes and you say thank you. It's that simple. Whether you're saying thank you to God, if you're a religious person, or you're thanking the universe. Me personally, I thank the ancestors for another day to maybe not always get it right, but to have the opportunity to try. Now, I mentioned Oprah Winfrey before. If you know anything about Oprah, she's very big on gratitude. And I'll attach a clip, which you can see, where she tells us how she shows gratitude every single day. And later on in the show, I will be sharing with you some more tips on how you can all develop what I call an attitude of gratitude.
No, that is fantastic. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, I would be absolutely honest. I've heard about this concept for years when exploring the whole well-being sort of agenda. But it was watching the Oprah clip while researching tonight's show. I thought, wow, okay, if this is what the Big O does, this is something we all need to be doing.
What I know for sure is that no matter what is going on in your life, I believe if you concentrate on what you have, you will always end up having more, even if it's just $2. If you focus on what you don't have, you will never, ever, ever have enough. So 16 years ago, I started a gratitude journal. Y'all can sit down. 16 years ago, I started a gratitude journal, and I will have to say, it was the single most important thing I believe I've ever done. So every day, for years now, I've written down 5 things to be grateful for. And you have to write them down. It's very different than just saying, oh, I'm grateful for today. You have to physically write them down because there's power in the words. Even simple things like fresh flowers or somebody holding the door open for me. So when you wake up in the morning and you consciously look for things to be thankful for, what happens is if you go through the day thinking about the 5 things that you're going to do in the evening, you are more alive and receptive to the goodness that comes in your life. Because sometimes it is as simple as somebody holding the door. One time it was just 2 squirrels eating. I said, I better write that down. Nothing else might happen today.
If you don't believe us, you might believe Oprah. So we are looking at gratitude, something you've probably heard about, but have never really bothered practicing it, especially during this lockdown, because it has been so easy to start complaining and whinging, leading to a fixation on negativity. So let's be honest, let's ask our audience, how much are we allowing ourselves to be grateful and demonstrating the art of gratitude in our lives? Let's go to our audience. Who should we ask? Let's ask Giselle. Giselle, do you think you could be more grateful?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I try to at least find something every day to... I've got a very nice garden, and usually I look out in my garden first thing in the morning, and I'm always really, really grateful to have a patch of green to stare at in this time of lockdown.
What is it that's stopping you being grateful?
I don't think I'm not grateful. I think that I've done it for a while, so I'm not consciously being grateful, if you see what I mean. I do think I don't know really. I think I am grateful. I think I am grateful. I think it's not so conscious that I'm grateful, but if I had to think about it, I could make a list of the things that I did today that I think I'm really grateful for. My family, I'm grateful for my garden, I'm grateful for health, I'm grateful that they've got bottled water in the soup, things like that make me feel happy. I'm grateful that I'm writing with a great team of people. That's really keeping me sustained. It's always been about people for me anyway.
No, that's surrounded by what you said about being conscious, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think what I like about this is that, I will be more conscious tomorrow morning because we've had this conversation.
Yeah, that's what the show's about.
I've always had a problem with stopping and thinking about the sort of the non-physical things in life, and gratitude is one of those. You need to take or at least I need to take a second to stop and think about what I need to be grateful for, rather than just doing it in the back of my mind and not giving it sort of the emphasis it needs, I suppose.
One more person, Donna, we're unmuting you.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for joining us, Donna. Do you think you practice gratitude enough, or could you do more?
I could definitely do more, definitely. I think we get complacent when things are going well. You don't really think about being grateful, and then when things go bad, you're like, Yeah,
and you fixate on the negative, and you forget to be great. And it's again what Giselle and Martin said, to being conscious. And then when things go wrong, you're distracted by the negative, and so gratitude just goes out the window, doesn't it? It is interesting.
Yeah, your focus just changes.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that, because this show is about addressing that issue and making us all more conscious. We can move forward in a powerful state. We are going to Martina now. Martina, I've just unmuted you. So just remind us, from your perspective, What is gratitude? What would you say gratitude is? Can
Sure,
you hear me?
it's a mindset, it's an awareness, it's a state of being. And we are programmed in a way, and we follow that programming. And when we get into this consciousness and this awareness to give thanks, to be grateful, it comes from, our ancestors did this a lot easier and better because they were so grounded in physicality and they had time and space. And we've just had that experience with lockdown now. So we know what is of true value. We know what we can appreciate, genuinely give thanks from our heart. And it's a positive response that when somebody does something, when something happens to us, when we are out there living life and doing everyday things with everybody, we give thanks. We just don't take things for granted. And we've had such a great reminder now, because this state of consciousness, of gratitude, it creates a synergy and an energy in our mind, which works in our physical body, and we attract more. When we have the state of gratitude and we're living that way, then we're able to refocus ourselves and we're able to stay focused on what is good for me, what is right for me, what do I need, what is my state of mental, physical, and emotional awareness. And we become stronger and stronger and stronger inside of ourselves as a result of that.
How does gratitude impact our day-to-day life? Does it have health benefits or,
Yes, absolutely. And in North America, both in Canada and in the US, they have a holiday to celebrate Thanksgiving. And it comes from our ancestors just simply stopping and taking time to say, look at the bounty of our crops. And it is from a genuine place. Now, why was that done? Why is it done? Why do we need to do that? Because we are physical and we need to stay inside the physical body. And when we do that, it reduces stress. So when we get up in the morning and we give thanks to be alive for the day, just starting our day with that, we give thanks for the positive and the negative opportunities, because there's always a growth. When something happens, we can say thank you. Even if it might be something that, we want to resist it, but we can give thanks for the opportunity and we can give thanks for the positives. And as a result of that, we actually increase our immune system. Our immune system becomes stronger and we have healthier relationships. And this has been proven in scientific studies that the people who are grateful and thankful not only live longer, but they are healthier, because when we reduce stress in our life, everything becomes easier, including our physical health and mental well-being.
No, that's brilliant. I'm really interested in the proof, because science is very cynical unless stuff is proven. Have there been any studies that prove the power of gratitude?
Yes, there have been many actually. And one study that was done in 2014, it was published in The Emotion, and it was found that people who say thank you, who write thank you, actually have more friends and are easier to obtain friendship with, and people connect to them, which I find super fascinating.
We are going to come back to Martina in a moment. She's going to show us practical exercises so we can apply gratitude and improve all our lives. But first, it is time for some more nice news.
Well, as Martina was saying, gratitude does wonders for your immune system. It also does wonders for people who are facing life-threatening illnesses. Now, you would think that in that situation, they wouldn't have a lot to be grateful for, but studies, again, Stephen, takes us back to the science. Studies have shown us that patients confronting AIDS and those preparing to undergo major surgery have better health outcomes when they remain optimistic. And I actually found a clip for you from a lady called Gabby McEwen, and she will explain how gratitude is helping her live through a terminal diagnosis.
Attitude really matters. Happy people live 7 to 10 years longer than unhappy people. And optimists are 77% less likely to get heart disease than pessimists.
Gratitude isn't just about the here and now. I came across this wonderful story, and it shows that gratitude has no expiration date. When I saw that headline, I was like, what are you talking about? Anyway, it turns out that a debt of nearly 200 years in the making is renewing an affectionate bond between two cultures who individually and uniquely know the meaning of widespread suffering and the value of supporting each other through it. Now, you may remember about 200 years ago, Ireland was experiencing years of starvation due to a potato blight, and the Native American Choctaw tribe joined a campaign to help strangers an ocean away. Now, the Choctaws were going through their own suffering because they were being forced off their ancestral lands and being forced to go to reservations hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. But they pooled their resources and raised $170, which in today's money is about $5,000. And they sent this to Ireland through a relief fund. Like many other ethnic people today, the Navajo and Hopi tribes, many of whom still live on reservations, have been particularly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. They need money for basic supplies and like medicine and food and water, and they set up a GoFundMe campaign. So far, they've raised close to $3 million. Many of the donations have come from, you guessed it, Irish citizens who haven't forgotten that good deed almost 200 years ago, and they just want to express gratitude for the help they received centuries ago. One of the donors, a woman called Caroline Kelly, says, "Ours is a debt that can never be repaid, but please consider this donation a small token of love and solidarity from your Irish brothers and sisters." And another donor said, when the Choctaw people had nothing, they gave Ireland all that they could at a time when we needed it most.
How powerful is that? That gratitude reverberates through the centuries.
Yeah, it certainly does.
In a time of need. No, that's amazing. So we are coming back then to Martina. Let me unmute you again, Martina. Okay, so halfway through the show now, everyone listening wants to, how can I get this gratitude? How can I make my life better with the power of gratitude? So what practical exercises can we do? Can you share with us, Martina, so we can bring more gratitude into our lives?
Well, one powerful technique is to keep a journal, a thank you journal, a gratitude journal. And this is something you can do, whatever time of the day is good for you, where you can give thanks for all that you have and for all that you are grateful for in your life. And for each of us, this will have varying lists. It can be for relationships. It can be for experiences. It can be for opportunities. It can be for all the simple things that we have in our life, and we write them down. And there's a release in that. There is a mindset. There is a program that we anchor in us, in physicality when we write. So it's very, very powerful, and it increases positivity within us and in each frequency within our physical, mental, and emotional body. So that is something, it's easy to do. There's some beautiful journals out there. You can get this, you can, leave it by your nightstand, do it in the morning, do it at night, whatever is good for you. And then another, something that I know in my home, my mom taught us very much as children, when you get something or somebody does something, write a thank you note. And I think through the years, it's like we get busier and life has somehow gotten an awful lot busier. So one suggestion that I give to my clients is you can write thank you, whether it's a text or an email, or it is a traditional note to the different people in your life, the different relationships that you have, expressing gratitude. And now as we're coming out of lockdown and we're going into the world, it's a perfect time to maybe practice that, because different relationships have sustained us. And the texts and the Zoom calls, you can write some thank you notes. And you can also do this for people that have done things in your life in the past, and now you're really feeling the gratitude for it. it heals relationships, it supports, it encourages. And the other thing you can do is you can verbally say thank you when you have the opportunity. It could be to complete strangers. It could be to somebody, that opens the door for you, that offers to pick something up, that helps you open the plastic bag at the grocery store. Just verbally say that and give thanks to that person, because it will, again, share that frequency of thank you, and it'll encourage them to do it as well. And you can also write notes to yourself, and it's actually very transforming and very healing to write to yourself. And you can email it to yourself. I've done that, and it's very powerful.
So you even suggest giving thanks and gratitude to ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes we have to do very brave things, and we have to do courageous things, and we have to do it, and we can thank ourselves for doing that.
No, that's brilliant. I've got to say, actually, this lockdown has made me realise I really appreciated the shop assistant at my local store, because there's certainly at the beginning of the lockdown, there was so much fear and people were scared of getting close. And, this guy and the lady were serving on the checkouts. They were closer to people than 2 meters. And I did thank them every time. I said, thank you so much for being here, for doing this. And then, before I didn't give them the time of day, I'll be honest. And it is this kind of slap in the face when circumstances go sort of unusual, isn't it? That we do realise and start to appreciate when the norm isn't the norm anymore. No, thank you, Martina. Stay with us. Let's go to our audience now. Who shall we ask?
I think we should ask Chris. I think we should go to Chris.
What do you think of what you just heard then? So thanking yourself, doing a gratitude journal, and sending thank you messages or text or emails to people. And it doesn't need to be a recent reason why you're saying thanks to them. It could be decades ago.
I manage quite a large number of people in my workplace as well, and working remotely, just seeing everyone pull out all of the stops to make sure that everything continues to run smoothly. And, I try to praise them and say thank you as much as possible. And I've found that actually I get more out of the people by saying thank you and giving them that praise than, say, if I was in the office. I mean, I said thank you to people when I was in the office as well, but not as much. I'm finding myself doing it more and more now, because I'm finding that people are going above and beyond. They're going out of their way. And not just in a work scenario either, like you said, with the shop assistants and other people. I mean, I agree. I think giving thanks and praise to people as much as possible, irrelevant of what situation you're in, really does make quite a large difference.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes our life easier, and it so can be the petrol to make someone else's day that bit better. Yeah. And it costs us nothing, does it?
Exactly.
We all benefit from this attitude of gratitude. No, brilliant. Thank you, Chris. Let's go to, who have we got? Oh, who is this? Debbie. Let's go to Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you all?
Do you know what? I'm just grateful for my beautiful family. That's my beautiful niece there. You've heard this a lot over the years. Do you think you could be more grateful then, Debs? And how do you think you could demonstrate that?
I think we can all be more grateful for things, certainly, can't we? Can I just say about the Christmas gift that you got the girls last year? You bought them three books. You bought me and the girls a book each, didn't you? Asking us to do a gratitude. Yes, like what Peter's showing there as well. And a pen, didn't you, to show gratitude?
I did, yeah. Do you know what? I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. So that was even before lockdown. You were pushing for that we should be more grateful for everything.
Wow, okay. You remind me. Oh, thank you so much. Cool.
Yeah, see, you're a brilliant brother.
I'm appreciating myself right now. No, that's cool.
Can we go to Vanessa? Because I want to express some gratitude to Vanessa if she hasn't switched her phone off. I just saw her just now. Yeah, there she is.
So gratitude is one of those things that I don't take for granted. There's so many reasons for us to be grateful every single day.
And so, yes, I could absolutely use more of it. And journaling is really a good way to practice it. So, absolutely.
Wow. Great stuff. It's so good to see you. It is so good to see you. Martina spoke about keeping a gratitude journal, and I know that there are apps out there that will allow you to type it into your phone, but I remember reading somewhere once, and I think Oprah says this as well, when you write down, physically get a pen like one of these and write it down, it becomes more meaningful. I know a lot of people don't write nowadays unless it's to sign something. I love stationery, I love pens, and I love writing, and I actually look forward to writing in my journal. I make a list of at least 5 things that I'm grateful for. I have a minimum of 5. There's normally more, but if I can't find 5 things in a day, then I'm not worth living. And it's funny, Martina, you were speaking about writing notes to yourself, because I sometimes put little post-it notes up around my house to say thank you. Like I've got food in the fridge, and I'll write a little gratitude note on the fridge saying, I'm grateful for the food in here. Or even on a packet of biscuits, I'm like, I'm grateful for your delicious nature, thinking to myself, you might pay for it later. Or even there's somebody's house I went to, and they have a gratitude notice on their door saying, I'm grateful to have this house, and I'm even more grateful that you're here, which I think is a lovely thing.
Right, okay, as if this show hasn't demonstrated enough already the power of gratitude, our next 2 guests certainly are going to. They are going to share with us their stories of how gratitude has really helped them and turned their lives around. Let me get Peter Swift. I thought you were going to be up a mountain top. You're not up a mountain.
I've been up a mountain.
Oh, you've been up the mountain?
Yeah, this morning. I went fishing up the mountain.
Okay. So, Peter, you've always said gratitude has played such a big part in transforming your life. Tell us your story.
Yeah, a massive part. Many years back, I used to, basically I was an heroin addict, basically, and a crack addict. And though I actually really enjoyed getting high, there's consequences to it, obviously. So there was a lot of negativity in my life. Since then, I'm now in sobriety. Like somebody mentioned, I've got like a gratitude book. I write 6 things in the morning, and I'm just extremely grateful. I'm really extremely grateful. Like this morning, I went for a walk. The mountains have been closed during lockdown. They're open, and it was so nice to see people, tourists, coming in and just sort of like smiling and saying hello. Extremely, I just have to focus. For me, it's about cultivating gratitude. If I don't cultivate my own gratitude, my negativity just comes in. It's kind of like a daily battle somewhat in some way. So I cultivate it by doing those daily exercise, and like writing 6 things at night time and then looking at them in the morning. So extremely grateful for what I've got. The simple things.
Okay, so it's a simple thing. Is it just like the thinking of it, or is it the feeling of it? Is gratitude an emotion, or is it just a narrative in your head saying thanks?
I often say, and I practice this and I believe it, that if I'm having a negative thought or a negative feeling, we have negative feelings in life because stuff happens. But if I change the thought, I change the feeling. So when I am having a negative feeling from being out, at work or whatever, or Monday morning or whatever, I have a positive thought which changes my feeling. But it doesn't, you have to practice those things. It doesn't just happen overnight. I've had to practice those things over years, and it's about cultivating the gratitude.
No, thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Thank you. We are going to wrap up in a minute with our big gratitude challenge. Don't go away. But first, it's time for some more nice news.
You remember, Stephen, you were talking just now about whether or not gratitude is a feeling or a thought in your head. I think depending on the circumstances, it can be both. I think we feel more gratitude when something happens, and it's almost like we light up from within, but it's like Peter says, it's a thought process. You have to practice it. It's like a muscle. And ironically, this next story I'm going to tell you about comes from Reader's Digest. Do you remember last week we were talking about laughter being the best medicine? Well, this guy, Will, was in Reader's Digest talking about how truly grateful he was to his university and his roommates. Quickly, Will used to be in the Navy, and his girlfriend became pregnant. And when his daughter was about a month old, he was deployed again, and he sat down and thought, you know what, if I stay in the Navy, I'm going to be away from my daughter more often than not, and I don't want that. So he left the Navy, and at 27, he enrolled in university. Sadly, shortly after that, he and his daughter's mother broke up, and because his daughter's mother had health issues, well, Will became the primary caregiver. But what then happened was that Will was left working full-time, studying full-time, and being a parent full-time, and he was running himself ragged. Now, his roommates were really good. They would look after his little girl when he had to go to work or when he was at classes, schedules permitting. But one of the tutors noticed that he was running himself ragged and falling behind. So they sat down and had a chat, and she turned around and said, well, bring the baby to class with you. And he was a bit surprised at that because, you know, babies and classrooms aren't an automatic relationship, you would say. But it turns out she was a very quiet baby, and she didn't get any pink slips for being noisy in class. Will and his daughter graduated. Both of their names were called at the graduation ceremony, and both of them walked on stage. Will said he'll be forever grateful because without the help of his roommates, his babysitting roommates, and the university basically offering him childcare in the classroom, he would never have made it through 4 years of graduation. And I saw that story, and that's another one that made me smile.
Right, so we are putting this gratitude concept to the test now, and we invite you, all our audience that are live with us here tonight, plus all our audience that are watching the show on demand, to join us for a 30-day gratitude challenge. And on our show, say just over 4 weeks' time, the 17th of August, we are going to ask you to report back and tell us the effects. So yeah, so let's go to our audience first of all. Who is up? If you want to put a blue, or just wave at the camera. So if you want to say something, let's go to Giselle's iPad. Yeah. Giselle has wanted to
Giselle's up for, yeah, Giselle,
are you up for joining us on this challenge?
So yeah, totally. I would really, really appreciate doing this, and doing it with a group is going to be extra powerful.
Yeah. We'll hold you accountable. There is no escape.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thumbs up.
And I see that Vanessa put a thumbs up as well.
I just wanted to share, this is my book that I'm going to use.
Oh, wow.
And what it says is, a dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is a reality. So
that is beautiful.
As we embark on this journey together, I'm looking forward to the reality that it will bring to all of us. And August 17th happens to be the day I will celebrate my 55th birthday. So I'm looking forward to celebrating with you guys.
That is
wow, that is awesome. Thank you, Vanessa.
That is so awesome.
Are you up for this, then, Donna?
Definitely. Count me in. Can't wait.
Good.
What are you hoping to get out of it then, Donna, do you think?
More friends.
No, that's good. That's good. But you got some friends here. You definitely got some friends here.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us. No, that's brilliant. Who else should we go to? Rachel. There's Rachel there.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi Kay. Hi, Steve. Hi, Giselle. Hi, everyone.
So, Rachel, you're going to join us on this 30-day gratitude challenge.
Absolutely, Steve. I'm totally up for it, and I do it. You know, it's been a part of me since a very long time. You know, my dad used to say to me, I mean, as long as he lived, he said to me, you know, giving gratitude is one, or, you know, having that thing in your heart, being thankful for every day, every minute, every millisecond of the day is something that keeps you going. And, you know, having said that, I'd like to say to a lot of people out here, you know, who've expressed their thoughts, I've had a father who's been sick for years. The doctors had said to him he wouldn't survive for more than 2 years. My dad lived for almost 22 years. And I think that attitude the attitude of gratitude was his mantra in life. And, you know, he just used to thank God. Even on days he used to feel he was in a lot of pain in some days, and he still said, I thank God for such a beautiful wife, that's my mom, and for such a beautiful and a lovely daughter who, you know, loves and keeps me upbeat. So yes, that's something which I learned from my father. And
thank you.
That's so sweet. Okay, so how are we gonna do this?
Kate,
Peter,
over to you. Tell us how to do this.
So whatever book you've got, I would say that you use one side to talk about what you're grateful for now, the other side, the facing side, to talk about what you're grateful for, what you will be grateful for in the future, but talk about it like it's happened now. So what I do is, you know, I'm grateful for today, and then I'm grateful that my business is going so well. My business hasn't quite moved yet, but it will get there. I'm grateful for the fact that my business can help me positively impact and change lives. So you say it all as if it's in the present. 30 days, starting today. We're going to come back on the 17th, is it, Stephen? The 17th
that week,
of August. And we are going to talk about how you felt doing it, whether you found it a struggle, how it impacted you, all of that stuff we are going to revisit on the 17th. So
let's just go to Martina for some final words then on all of this. So Martina, how do we know it's working for us?
Well, you're going to do this, and I would say give yourself permission and just do it. Have no expectation. And what you're going to discover is in the response of others. When you start to notice people connecting with you, when you start to notice your mindset has shifted when others are connecting and responding to you. And keep doing it, because positivity has such an amazing impact, and it keeps working. You know, as you give thanks, it triggers another, it triggers another, it triggers another, and we create the domino effect. And that is what we are all in our hearts truly striving to do, and getting the impact in a bigger way.
Wow, I'm excited. This has been really good, hasn't it? So thank you, Martina. So that is it. We're wrapping up the show then. What a show it's been. So, so next week we're looking at sleep. So it's all about sleep issues. We've got a coach who's going to come on and tell us how we can all get a better night's sleep. Believe me, I've been suffering from that recently, so I definitely need some help with that. If you've got any questions or got any opinions, you can contact us. Our email is below. You can find us on YouTube, follow our YouTube channel and Instagram channel. Type in The Nice News Show in the search box to find that. We're back at 7 p.m. live next Monday. Then this show gets edited and it's available on demand.
Thank you again. I'm grateful again. You know, I keep saying it, you could be anywhere, you're here. Just wanted to end with a final quote, because you know I like to start and end like a sandwich with the good stuff in the middle. Just like happiness, gratitude is the state of mind in which we should always travel.